Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about why most coaches never make it above 5k per month. And it's not really down to them not being quote unquote good at their job. It's down to often a lot of mentality, mindset factors, and just a few things they're not doing within their marketing or their general structure. So I'm going to go through it today, and hopefully for anyone that's trying to get to that 5k mark, they can implement this and achieve success. And for those who are on 5k already, if you just keep working on these elements, you're going to go to 10, 15k and above. Because honestly, if you can get to 5k, you can get to 15, 20k. It's just a case of repeating that process and getting better at that. Once you get to 20k and above, yes, the rules kind of change a little bit. But to get to that point, it's just kind of doing these things and becoming better and better and better at it. Now, before I go any further, if you like this kind of content, whether you listen to this as a podcast or seeing me on YouTube, please make sure that you follow. This means a lot. It means I can keep doing this. It means I know you guys are going to get value out of it and gives me a lot back if I'm being a little bit selfish there. So if you want to support me, support this kind of content, please make sure that you follow. It means an awful lot. But I'll get into it. So if I was going to go through these points, and this is not in any kind of particular order, I would start off and say consistency. Now, consistency is one of those things, it's easy to say, harder to do. But so many times when I see these coaches who start off, maybe they get a couple clients and they taper off, it's because they just couldn't be consistent. They didn't stick to things. And it can be much harder being consistent when you aren't getting a result. And I'll tell new coaches often, you've got to get into the mentality of being able to just do this for a year and expect no reward. And if you can get yourself into that mindset, that I'm going to post every day, I'm going to do my stories every day, I'm going to get better every day, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the actions, and I will come into some things in future videos, how to do launches to get people in for kind of no money and get social proof, absolutely. But just think of it from a marketing standpoint. If you've got no clients, do that for a year without any reward. And when you start to get a bit of a reward in terms of clients coming in, getting a bit of attention, getting leads, it's a case of keeping doing it. And I'll hear all sorts of, I don't want to sound horrible to people, but excuses. They say, oh, I'm busy, I'm this, that, and the other. And look, everyone's been busy. Everyone has had to go from that period of, I'm working full time and then transitioning over to coaching, and I'm going to make the leap into that. I worked in corporate management. I was working 56 hours a week, standard, maybe more, and I had to find the time. And was it easy? No, it was not. It was not easy at all. But if you want to make it work, you have to make it work and you have to be consistent. And most people just aren't. And I can really say that if you can just focus on that consistency element, you will beat so many people who are better than you, perhaps, because I'm a classic example of this. I'm sure there's many good coaches, many good coaches, better coaches than me, who have fallen by the wayside because they just couldn't be consistent. And ultimately, that's part of the job. Part of the job isn't just being like, I'm a good coach and whatever that means to people. It's a case of showing up every single day, because if you can't show up for your clients every single day, so if you can't show up on social media every single day, you can't show up in your marketing every day, you're not going to show up with your clients every day either. So it's the case of being super consistent and being there. Because most of the time, it takes people months and months of consuming your content before they're ready to go and buy off you. People do one call to action and they're like, oh, that didn't work. I'm like, you don't just see a Coca-Cola advert and just sort of rush out the door. I've got to go fucking buy one. You have it in your mind, then when you see it in the store, you're like, I'm going to pick that up. And it works for coaching as well. So you just need to be consistent, front of mind. Keep going. And eventually, if you keep getting better, if you keep doing the things you need to do, you will achieve success. But most people don't, and that's why most people don't ever go above 5k. So be consistent, doing the right things, and you've got a very good chance of being successful. And what I like to do with a lot of clients and within my sort of thought process and content is I flip things into like, what's the most binary way I can look at it. So if I was going to make sure that I was going to guarantee to fail, what would I do? It's like, just don't be consistent at all. And that to me is like the biggest thing is like, just don't post, right? Don't be consistent. Don't show up every day. Like, that's guaranteed to fail. So do the opposite and you're probably going to have some success, right? So be consistent. Number 2 is just an absolute inability and refusal to niche down in their content, in their messaging, who they talk to. Because everyone says, I'm not going to get any clients. I don't want to cut off a bunch of people to work with. And what they realise, cats come up and say hello. What they realise, what they don't realise, is that most people aren't working with them anyway because they're not talking to anyone. Right? And I was this guy when I started. I tried to speak to everyone with my content and wondered why no one was resonating. You have to talk to someone. Now, the problem when people think of niche is they think it means I have to be so dialed in that I can't work with anyone else, right? But people are going to come in from different directions. So think of it in terms of demographic, which is kind of the voting card, like age, sex, location, income, whatever, like that side of things. So I work with online coaches, blah, blah, blah. Then they got the psychographic, which is a type of personality, the way someone thinks, likes, dislikes, that side of things. We have both sides. So when you niche down, niching could be what problem do you solve? It could be the personality that you display in your content. It could be, yes, the type of person you work with, but you have to dive in to some degree into that. You can't just be like, yeah, I coach everyone, because realistically you don't. Or do you coach everyone from 18 to 80? Like, you obviously don't. So niche down to some degree. And I'm not saying it has to be so specific. Like, I coach circus performers from Birmingham. I don't know why Birmingham came to mind, but you don't have to be that niche, obviously, but there has to be a level of niche. And people not doing that, they're not going to achieve success, because when you try and speak to everyone, you speak to no one. It's like jack of all trades, master of none. Think of that in terms of niche. And again, if you flip things, how can you be sure that you're not going to speak to anyone, speak to everyone? Look at car manufacturers. Look at every single brand in the world. They have a niche. I'll use the example quite often of gym companies, right? So think of Gymshark, think of Gasp. Look at those two companies. We sell gym gear, but you can think of the person that wears Gasp, think of the person that wears Gymshark. They look very different in your own mind. They've niched down, even though they sell gym kit, right? They've still niched into something. They speak to someone. So you have to do the same within your own coaching. The third thing I want to talk about is personality. So often, every coach looks the same. They look the same. And I've spoken about this before with personal brand, but you have to get your personality across. So many coaches aren't doing that. They look the same as everyone else. And if you took a lot of these coaches, and I've been guilty of this before, this isn't me calling everyone out. If you look at these coaches and you basically took their name and their face and just put another one on top, you couldn't tell the difference between like 20 or 30 different coaches. They all sound the same, make the same content, have the same opinions within their content, because it's not even their opinion. There's nothing in there. The biggest USP in your business is you. You have to use it, because when you start doing that, no one can make the same content as you. No one has the same shared life experience as you. You will absolutely be able to differentiate yourself in the market. With the one thing that your business has and no other business has is you. You have to show that, have to show your personality. And most people aren't willing to do that. And they say to me, oh, my life's boring. It's fucking not. It's like, I laugh when people say it, because I can tell you what I do right now. I wake up 5 a.m. every single day. I either go to the gym, I train jiu-jitsu, or I get straight to work. I'll gym or jiu-jitsu across the week. I will play with my cats. One of them is literally sat here right now. I'll see my girlfriend, and then I'll maybe do stuff at the weekend when we've got social events on. That's it. That's my life. On paper, that sounds the most boring thing in the world, but somehow, some reason, people still want to see that, because when you think about it, you're someone who's an online coach. You're working online, you're working with people, or at least trying to. Your life is more exciting than 99.99% of others. Showcase that. It's not that boring. There's a lot of things that you do which will be of interest to other people, right? That is really, really big. And also, don't just fall into the standard online coach crap, which is trying to be a coach at every opportunity. Like they'll have their breakfast and go, the reason I had this was because it's a good source of protein, fats and carbs. Like, have a personality. Tell me why you fucking love that cereal, or mention like you had a cereal before that you absolutely loved, or oh, remember the time when you had cinnamon grahams as a kid? How good were they? Right? I say that because I can't eat them anymore because I'm gluten-free. Fuck my life. But those are things you want to talk about. So get your personality across any which way that you can. Right? Even the fact that my cats just jumped on the thing, I haven't paused this, I haven't stopped it, my cat's there, right? I'm not saying I'm the social media marketing expert, but just have a bit of personality in what you get across, and you will differentiate yourself from everyone else. And all of a sudden, more people want to deal with you, and it will be easier to get above that 5K mark. So showcase your personality. Other thing people don't do is they don't try and get better at coaching. So it's actually getting better at your job. Now, a lot of the things I talk about within this podcast and generally across Instagram at the moment is on the client acquisition side, the marketing side, how to get clients in the door. But that's because, to me, being good at your job is a prerequisite. You need to be educated. So I've got a master's in sports science. I spent years and years and years honing my craft, and I'm still not as good as I want to be, right? So when you see these coaches who aren't trying to get better, I'm like, you need to invest time into that, because it's all well and good getting people into the business, getting leads in. But unless you can get results, you're going to fail. So you have to invest time into that. Become better. Become an incredible coach. And that isn't just, I know the evidence from training, nutrition, supplement, PDs, programming, all that sorts of thing, because that's obviously super important. But it's also the connection skills. And I talk about this time and time again, is the knowledge side of things. We will get to a point, maybe not yet, but relatively soon, where AI will be able to get that information for people. It's already decent at programming. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Like, it's PD, supplementation stuff, pretty crap. But the programming stuff, not too bad. There will be a point where it will go toe to toe with most people. Cool, that's fine. Okay. It will never, ever, ever be able to empathize with a human being. It will never be able to teach a human being in a way they will understand. It will never be able to guide someone. It will never be able to connect with someone on that basis that you can as a human being. And that's what coaching is. So it's not just the actual kind of technical skills of coaching, it's the soft skills of coaching as well. And make sure you focus on getting better at that. And that's going to really help you generate the results. And also confidence that you can go and deliver those results to get above that 5K mark. Now, on the other side of that coin, okay, is the marketing side. Most people, especially the kind of evidence-based crowd, the side of the coin that I came from, which is very much be a good coach, I only need to be a good coach, they refuse to work on marketing. I've spoken about this on multiple podcasts and multiple posts. It is the fact that we need to make sure that we understand marketing. And all marketing is showing what you're doing. Most less than 5K coaches, most new coaches, they refuse to do that. I don't want to sell, I don't want to do these things. Unfortunately, you're going to have to, okay? And I think we need to look at our selling as a different thing. When we think of selling, we instantly recoil and we think, that's sleazy, I can't show that. I can't do those things. My question would be, why? Are you selling them a bad product? Are you not going to get them results? Are you going to take their money and run? Are you going to give them subpar service? The answer to those things, I'm hoping, will be no, especially if you worked in the coaching bit. So why is that a problem? Why is that a problem having a value exchange? They're going to give you cash in exchange for you giving them a result. That's a value exchange. We do it all the time with we go to a supermarket, we buy a coffee, whether you sign up to anything, you sign up to a gym, there's a value exchange going on here. So it's no different than signing to you. It's having confidence that that's okay. And that's part of marketing. Talking on cameras marketing, posting on social media is marketing. But we need to understand how to maximize that side of things that we do. Otherwise, we're always going to be against it. So making sure that you invest time in marketing as well. It's an obvious one. Now, those will be the kind of the main things that I see that are going to stop people getting there, right? And the one thing I would add on to that, and this kind of ties into consistency, but it's also worth separating out, is patience. And I use a quote all the time, and one thing you'll know about me is that I love a quote. Right? I'm absolutely obsessed with a quote because it just summarizes such a great thought process down into a couple pithy lines that I can just jot away in my brain. And that is, Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were working by the hour. And what I mean by that is, it's going to take a long time to build your business, okay? It's going to take time. It's going to it could be months and months and months before you get a lead. It could be you get a couple of clients to start with, and then it doesn't blow up. It takes time, and all these things, they're gonna test you. Right? You need to have that resolve. You need to have that patience to understand. Yeah, it's going to take time. And within that patience, it's not shiny object syndrome. It's not jumping to the next thing. You need to understand that if you set out what you're doing and just follow that path, the same way that you would in your programming for yourself or a client, you wouldn't just constantly change a plan. You would stick to the plan, get better and get better and get better until they got the end result of a diet, of a gaining phase, whatever it was. You wouldn't just jump to the next thing. And this is where I look at a lot of so-called mentors on the internet about promising them, oh, you're going to make 10K in 90-day sprint, or we're going to get you 25 clients in 6 weeks, or whatever this thing is. That's obviously not true, because then no one would ever leave. These guys would consistently be full. They wouldn't be running ads because they would never need to get any more clients. It would be that thing. It's not true. The case and the unsexy truth is that you will need to be patient as a coach. You're not going to win overnight, despite what these people on Instagram want to tell you. It is the case of just sticking to it and working really fucking hard for a long time, being patient, having that consistency, and doing all those things. So this is obviously not an exhaustive list. There's a ton of other things, but I think if you can go and implement those bits that I spoke about, do it better and better, iterate, consistently try and improve, you will get past that 5K mark. I can guarantee you that. That will be done, and then it's all the way to 10 and 15. Yes, you're going to have to learn how to market. You're going to have to learn to sell. You're going to have to become a better coach. There's a skill acquisition element all the way through that journey. However, if you can do all those bits, you will be successful. Now, shameless plug, if you want to learn the skills on how to become a better coach, you can sign up to the Strong Coaching Academy. This is my academy I created for coaches who want to upskill their coaching services, both technical and soft skills, want to learn how to market themselves effectively to get their clients in, and how to onboard and retain them. It's incredibly cheap. It's $60 a month. You're going to learn all the skills. You will make this money back in no time, and you'll learn all the skills. My one-to-one mentoring is currently capped, but I have got a wait list. So if you'd like me to add you to the wait list, so when a space comes available, I will message you. Please make sure that you message me the word mentor on Instagram. And if you want to check out any of my sponsors, check the show notes or check the description below, and I will cover everything in there. So check those guys out as well. So thank you very much, guys. I wish you all the best in terms of getting to that 5K and above mark, and I will see you in the next video or next podcast if you listen to me in your ears. Thank you.